Hello guys, it's Drew. If you've been a part of the channel for a while and you're reading this title, you're probably like, what's going on? Enhancement Shaman? Well, I got some news for you guys. I have not played Shadow Priest since TBC Classic in 2021. I love Shadow Priest. It will always be my favorite class and spec to play, but I decided to switch it up for this TBC, and I will be playing an Enhancement Shaman this time. Since TBC has been released, I get a ton of comments still on my Shadow Priest gear guides, and I love hearing from you guys about that. And the best thing about those videos is that all that information is still relevant, even though I made it 4 years ago, and I'm sort of glad this channel has come full circle now, and I am making gear guides in TBC anniversary. And I've always enjoyed making educational classic WoW content for you guys, gear guides, things like that. And when I was looking into Enhancement Shaman pre-BiS, I could not find anything good or updated. So I decided to come back today and bring you an updated 2026 TBC anniversary pre-raid best in slot guide for Enhancement Shamans in Phase 1. Just like always, I'm going to start with a 100% pre-raid BiS guide. That means the best pre-raid BiS you can get. Magical Christmas lands, all the best gems, enchants, just you got all the drops. You're super lucky. But after, I'm going to provide what I call a realistic best in slot guide. These are pieces of gear that are way easier to get. They're your second or third pre-BiS. They're just minimally worse, but you could totally get into heroics and Kara with that. And I'm doing a special thing for this realistic pre-raid BiS. I am doing 0 heroic pre-raid BiS. In my research, I found out that you can get a really good pre-raid BiS set for Enhancement Shaman with doing no heroics. You can do 100% quests and some pretty decently cheap BOE pieces. So stick around for that after the full pre-raid BiS guide. Let's get right into it, guys. Alright guys, here is the 100% pre-raid BiS gear guide for Enhancement Shamans. Remember, this is assuming you have unlimited gold. You're getting every one of those drops. You're getting all those badges. This is 100% min-maxed pre-BiS. So let's get right into it. First, we are going to start with the Wastewalker Helm. This drops from the last boss of Heroic Old Hillsbrad. 30 stamina, got the revered attack power enchant on there. 4 strength and 6 stam gem, got the meta gem in there. Mentioning first, you want all strength gems for Enhancement Shaman if you didn't know. So every gem in here are the blue version of the strength gem. So the blue, when I say blue, I mean rarity. So the blue version is 4 strength, 6 stam. The yellow is 4 crit, 4 strength. And the red version is 8 strength. So I'm not going to go over the gems every time, but every gem in here is giving you plus strength. And also every piece of gear for this set can have the socket bonuses because the socket bonuses are pretty good and you can still get the meta gem bonus. Speaking of the meta gem, we use the 12 agi 3 increased crit damage meta gem. Really, really good gem. 3% increased crit damage adds up over a whole raid. Definitely the meta gem you should be using. Also, with this helmet, you want to pair it with the shoulders. The shoulders drop in Heroic Aconite Crypts. 25 agi, 13 stamina. Got the Aldor enchant on there with the strength gems and the socket bonus. 16 hit, 34 attack power. You get a 35 hit rating bonus, set bonus from this. So you are going to want to get these 2 pieces for the 2 set. For the necklace, you're going to have the Choker of Vile Intent. This is from badges. It is 25 badges. The good thing about this necklace and a bunch of other pieces in this guide is that not only are they your pre-raid BiS, they are your actual Phase 1 BiS, and I'll point those out as we go along. But this is one of the easier ones to get. 25 badges, that's it, for a necklace with 20 agi, 18 stamina, 18 hit rating, and 42 attack power. Next is your cloak, the Vengeance Wrap. This is a crafted BOE, so this is a pretty easy piece to get, but it is definitely expensive. It is about 2,500 to 3,000 gold on Night Slayer right now. That's the server I currently play on. 12 Agi enchant on it with the Strength Gem and the socket bonus. 23 crit, 52 attack power. This is a great cloak. When you have the gold for it, you should get it, but definitely don't kill yourself over this as one of your first pieces because it is definitely pricey. Next, speaking of pricey, we have the Ebon Nether Scale set. So remember, like I said, this set is assuming you have unlimited gold, min-maxing to your ultimate potential, and that includes the crafted BOP Dragon Scale Leatherworking set. Excuse me if I misspoke. I don't know if it's Dragon Scale or Nether Scale. It says Nether Scale now that I'm reading it, but it is crafted. It's BOP, so you have to be a leatherworker for this. It is 3 pieces, and you're going to use all 3 pieces for the set bonus as well, that 20 hit rating set bonus. The chest gives 25 stam, 23 int, have the greater all stats on there with the strength gems and the socket bonus, 31 crit, 80 attack power, and 8 MP5. Next, we have the bracers, the second piece of the crafted set, 25 stam, 8 int with the 12 strength enchant and the strength gem and socket bonus once again. 17 crit, 38 attack power, and 5 MP5. And the last piece of the crafted set is the belt. It is 21 stam, 14 int with the strength gems and the socket bonus. 22 crit, 48 attack power, and 8 MP5. You can see this set is pretty good. A lot of attack power, a lot of hit, lots of sockets. If you have the gold, I would say it's worth it. But if you don't want to spend the gold on this, stay tuned for that realistic best in slot guide. Now the weapons. So the weapons actually are what inspired me to create this guide when I myself was looking for a pre-raid best in slot guide. A lot of the information was actually outdated because they did change some things in this version of TBC. What that is originally, if you were an enhancement shaman, you wanted to go blacksmithing. If you were an orc, you wanted to get the planar edge for your axe. If you were non-orc, you wanted the dragon maw. And in the old version of TBC, and you can actually still see here, it says one hand, so that means you could dual wield these. And in this version of TBC, they changed it to main hand only. So that means you cannot dual wield these, and that's important because you need both of your weapons to have the same exact speed. I'm not going to do a whole segment on it because there's a lot of great information out there about this, but long story short, if you do not have 2 weapons of the same speed, it's a huge gimp on your DPS. You can lose up to a 10% flurry uptime, and you need your weapons to be the same speed. Having said that, now that these are main hand, you cannot get another weapon that is good enough to justify making this. What I mean by that is the only other good 2.7 offhand is something called the Fist of Reckoning, and it is a, oh, it's not even on here. It is a BOE blue mace. It's a level 61 mace. It's pretty much on par with level 60 high warlord PvP weapons. But the thing about it is it's a 2.7. So if you wanted to use, for some reason, these blacksmithing axes in phase 1, go for it, but you would need to use the Fist of Reckoning. And, you know, these blacksmithing weapons actually do become a lot better in phase 2 with the availability of actual good 2.7 offhands. But for phase 1, in my opinion, you do not want the blacksmithing weapons. Rant over. Let's get into what you should be using. You should be using the Blade Fist. This drops from Heroic Shattered Halls off the last boss, so this is a pretty difficult weapon to get. Probably going to be the most annoying thing to farm for you, but it is the best available weapon for your pre-raid. It is a 2.6 speed with a 283 top end, 83.7 DPS. Has a chance on hit to increase your haste by 180, so the proc is actually really good. And the best weapon to pair with this is the Harvester of Souls. It is a 2.6 speed axe, so these are both the 2.6 speed. This drops from Heroic Aconite Crypts. It is 243 top end, 71.7 DPS, 16 strength, 13 stam, 15 crit. Great offhand weapon. But yeah, so these are probably the best weapons you can get at this speed for your pre-raid BiS. Next, we have the fell leather gloves. These are a very cheap, very easy piece to get. Probably one of the first pieces you will get right now on Night Slayer. I bought mine for I think like 250 gold or something like that, and they are your actual pre-raid BiS, which is awesome. Have the 15 strength enchant on there, the strength gens with the socket bonus, 17 hit, 24 crit, 36 attack power. Awesome, awesome piece. Very, very cheap piece. Get these first probably. Next, you have the Cleft Hoof Hide Leggings. These are from a quest chain in Blade's Edge Mountain. 30 Agi, 30 Strength, 24 Stam. Have the armor kit on there with 17 hit and 18 expertise. There is not a lot of gear in classic TBC, that gives expertise. These are your pre-raid BiS. This is from an easy quest chain in Blade's Edge Mountains. If for some reason you vendored these, please try to check your item restore. These are your actual pre-raid BiS, and they are like sneaky good. If you're not an experienced player, you may think these are not the best, and you'd be like, oh, they're just a questing blue and blah 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 blah. But these are your actual pre-raid BiS. So the Cleft Hoof Hide Leggings, you will see lots of melee wearing dresses because the model of this is a dress. So that's actually sort of something funny I like is all the melee are going to be wearing dresses for the first phase of TBC. Next, you have the fell leather boots. These are just like the gloves. Cheap, easy, BOE crafted piece. About 300 gold on Night Slayer right now. Have the minor speed and 6 agi enchant strength gems with the socket bonus. 25 hit, 17 crit, and 36 attack power. Easy piece, cheap piece. You'll probably get these two pieces. Actually, excuse me, these three pieces. The gloves, the boots, and the legs. These will probably be the first three pieces you should go for. For your rings, Shafar's Band of Brutality. This drops in Heroic Mana Tombs. 20 crit, 19 hit, 40 attack power. Not much to say. Great stat stick ring. Drops in Heroic. Might be hard to farm, but it is your pre-raid BiS. This is a piece right here, the Shapeshifter Signet. Another piece, like I said, that is not just your pre-raid BiS, but your actual Phase 1 BiS. I classify it as pre-raid BiS because this gear set is just anything that you don't have to go to a raid to do. This is all quests, heroics, badges, crafted, etc. 25 agi, 18 stam, 20 expertise. This is another piece right here with that expertise. This is Lower City Exalted, so a bit of an annoying grind, but this should probably be the first rep grind you do. This is a great ring. You're going to use this the whole phase. Highly, highly recommend. Next, we have the Bloodlust Brooch. Equip 72 attack power. On use, increases attack power by 278 for 20 seconds. This comes from badges. It costs 41 badges. This is the first thing you should get with your badges. So I know the choker costs badges, but you should definitely get the Bloodlust Brooch first. This is another piece that is not just your pre-raid BiS, it's your Phase 1 BiS. Get this trinket first with your badges. I highly, highly recommend it. You will get the most bang for your buck. The second trinket slot is actually sort of interchangeable. I have Hourglass of the Unraveler here. You could also use Abacus. Is great. And if you came from Classic, DFT, you can use this the whole phase if you have to. Same with Slayer's Crest. Yeah, so if you have Classic trinkets, maybe you don't go for the Bloodlust Brooch first. Maybe you save your badges and you want to itemize elsewhere. But if you have a DFT, I would use that, honestly. I don't have a DFT. I boosted, so I'm going to be going for that Bloodlust Brooch and that second combo. Like I said, I have an Hourglass, but if you have an Abacus, use an Abacus, etc., etc. Lastly, we have the Totem of Astral Winds. This is not just your pre-raid BiS, your Phase 1 BiS Totem as well. Only thing about this is it drops from Heroic Mana Tombs, which is sort of a hard heroic, especially the boss. This drops from the first boss, that big Voidwalker dude. He slaps on heroic. You actually have to have a competent group, and you have to have a tank that uses shadow resistance pots and shadow resistance aura, and it's not just some tank and spank fight. But if you can get a decent group, very easy. First boss of a heroic, get this totem. So that was the 100% pre-raid best in slot gear guide. And now we're going to get into the realistic best in slot gear guide. So here we have the realistic pre-raid best in slot gear guide for Enhancement Shamans. This is a gear set that is pretty much your pre-BiS. A lot of these pieces are your second or third pre-BiS. They are just technically minimally worse, normally by 10 attack power or a couple hit here and there. But they are all very good pieces. You could raid in this set. If you want to get this set and completely ignore the 100% gear guide, you could totally do Karazhan in this set, especially since it's post-nerf. And another thing I did for this set is every piece of gear in this set is not from a heroic. This is all quested, cheap BOE, couple honor pieces, couple rep pieces, but let's get right into it. First, we have the Helm of the Claw. This is from a quest. You just have to do 1 normal Steam Vaults. This is a helmet with 25 Agi, 21 Stam. I have the Revered Cenarian Expedition enchant on there. I think it's realistic that you'll get that just from questing and doing dungeons. It costs like 90 gold, I think. It's a great enchant, though. 6 strength gem. For this gear guide, I included all the green versions of the gems. So the green versions are only 6 strength for the red, and the other colors are just like a 1 or 2 strength less. But what's important about this helmet is it has the meta gem slot. This is the best helmet you can get that's not your pre-BiS with a meta gem slot. I still have the 12 Agi and 3 crit damage gem in there. It is a little pricey. It's a couple hundred gold, but I think it's worth it. It's a lot of damage over time, and yeah, I think it's worth it, so I included it in the realistic best in slot guide. But this is a super easy piece of gear to get. I think this is technically actually your third pre-BiS, and the second pre-BiS is a badge helmet, I think. So I actually am using this on my character, and it's a great helmet, super easy to get, huge piece. Go for this. Next we have Natasha's Choker. Necklace, 15 crit, 10 hit, 50 attack power. Really easy quest chain in Blade's Edge Mountain. You can solo it. Get this necklace. Again, I think this is technically your second pre-BiS necklace. The Mantle of Paranold. This drops from normal Old Hillsbrad off the last boss. For a level 66 pair of shoulders, these are very good. 24 stam. The strength gems with the socket bonus in there. 23 crit, 23 hit, 20 attack power. Super easy piece to get from a normal dungeon. The alternative and this is what I'm actually using on my character, are the Talbuk-hide Spalders. These are from Revered Maghar rep. I'm Horde. I forget the Kurenai is the Alliance version. It's the same thing, Alliance and Horde, but this is for Revered. These are shoulders with 20 Agi, 15 hit, and 70 attack power. A lot more attack power, but these don't have the 2 sockets. If you're close to the rep, I say go for it. I was only like 1,000 rep off of Revered when I was finished leveling, so I personally just went for these, but the Mantle of Paranold is just as good. For your cloak, you have Cloak of the Insider. These drop from normal Shadow Labs. 15 stam, 18 crit, 16 hit, and 30 attack power from a normal dungeon. Really good cloak. Again, I personally have this on my character. I'll be using this until I get that 2,000 gold cloak. Cloak of the Insider, great piece. The Hauberk of Karabor. This is a chest, 25 Agi, 18 stam, 12 hit, and 90 attack power. This comes from a quest chain. The thing about this piece is you have to pick Aldor if you want this piece. The Scryer's version of that quest chain offers this belt here, the Sorkathar's Girdle. Not as good as the chest piece, and there's a way better belt you can get than this, and not vice versa. Like, there's no other chest piece that's just as good as this. But if you really need to go Scryer, you could definitely get something else. But for me, personally, I am Aldor, and this thing is a huge attack power bonus, which I love about it, and very easy quest chain to do. Definitely get this piece. The Spy Mistress's... Oh my god, that's a tongue twister, guys. The Spy Mistress's wrist cards. These are from a quest. I think you used to do like one Alkanite Crypts or something. It's from that quest. 18 Agi, 15 Stam. Got the Strength Gem in there. 15 hit. For how easy these are to get, these are very good. Hopefully you didn't vendor them. Hopefully for all these pieces you didn't vendor them. And if you did, check that item restore. For the weapons, this is huge. These just were introduced in the game today. I am recording this the first day of the, I guess, dungeon raid release, also the arena season, and these are now available in the game. And these actually are what I will be using. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not farming Heroic Shattered Halls for the fist weapon. It is what it is, so I am just going to be using these, and these are pretty good. They're super easy to get. They are 10 Eye of the Storm marks and 15k honor. So in total, you're going to need 30,000 honor and 20 Eye of the Storm marks. But you get 2 really good axes that are slightly worse than your actual pre-BiS and way easier to get. The High Warlord's Cleaver. I'm an orc, so I'm using axes. If you want to use the other weapon version of this for your race, go for it. I don't think it matters for non-orcs which one you use unless you're a human, but humans can't be shamans, so no swords anyway. But yeah, the High Warlord's Cleaver is awesome. 224 top end, 71.7 DPS, 2.6. That's the other good thing about these axes is they are one-handed, so you can dual wield these. You can just buy 2 of these, bing bang boom, get it done. Use these in a raid. Try to get that Decapitator, which is also 2.6, which is another awesome thing about these axes is that they are 2.6. Super easy to get. Highly recommend the High Warlord's Cleaver, no pun intended. The fell leather gloves and the fell leather boots, I'm not going to go over these again, but they are on the realistic pre-raid BiS because I think you could buy both of these for like 500 to 600 gold total, and they are your actual pre-raid BiS, so definitely go for the fell leather gloves and the boots. The Fellstalker belt. This is another piece that is a little pricey, about 200 gold-ish, but with questing, and a lot of people saved quests till they were 70, I think 200 to 300 gold is pretty reasonable for these pieces of gear, and you can use these in raid till you upgrade them with tier 4, so definitely going to get your use out of them, including the Fellstalker belt, 18 Agi, 17 Intellect, 6 Strength gem, and the 3 Strength other gem, blue gem, with the socket bonus, 50 attack power, just a big beefy piece, 50 AP, 2 sockets, couple hundred gold, easy to get. For your pants, the cleft hoof hide leggings, these are on here because they are your actual pre-raid BiS, but they are also super easy to get, super easy quest chain, and yeah, these are great legs. So I also included the Shapeshifter Signet on here for your realistic set because this is your actual this is your actual phase 1 BiS ring, and all you need to do is get Exalted with Lower City. It is a bit of a grind. It's probably like 20 Shadow Labs, but you know, just do 1 or 2 a day. On the weekend, do a few. In a couple of weeks, you'll get this ring, and it's your phase 1 BiS, so that's why it's on the realistic. But the other ring I have on here is the Overseer's Signet. This is from a quest chain in Netherstorm. Super easy ring to get. 25 strength, 15 agi, 10 hit. Yeah, great ring. Easy quest chain. Need I say more? For your trinkets, so for the sake of the guide, I did not include the Bloodlust Brooch because I said this is no heroic, no badges. But this is just Bloodlust Brooch. I'm going to be honest. You're going to be doing heroics. You're going to be saving those badges. You're going to be buying that Bloodlust Brooch first. But for the sake of the guide, I put the Core of Arkelos. This is from a quest chain in Netherstorm. It's like a worse version of a Bloodlust Brooch. The green Bloodlust Brooch at home, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, use this until you get that Brooch. For the second trinket, again, interchangeable. I have Abacus. If you have a classic trinket, use that. If you have Hourglass, use that. You know, if you're a jewel crafter, you could always use this. Hourglass. Yeah, honestly, not much options for trinkets, guys. It's always been like that in classic. So you get that DST, but good luck. And for your totem, so like I said in the 100% guide, if you have a solid group and you can do that first boss of Mana Tombs, that's going to be easier for you than this. This is assuming you're pugging, you can't find a good group, things happen in heroics. I have the Totem of Impact. This is a super easy totem to get, and I actually did not learn about this until I was looking for totems to get. And this comes from the quests that you do to capture towers in Honor Hold. You need 15 of the currency. I forget what the name of the currency is. I think it's like Mark of Thrallmar, I think it's called. You need 15 of them, and you get 3 per quest. So you do the quest 5 times, do it once per day, 5 days. You'll get this totem. Increases damage done by Earth Shock, Flame Shock, and Frost Shock by 46. It's super easy totem to get. And I didn't know about it, so hopefully you spread the word about those towers. Let's get some world PvP out there. Night Slayer, guys, come on. So there's the realistic best in slot guide for pre-raid BiS. That was the Phase 1 pre-raid best in slot gear guide for Enhancement Shamans. I really, really enjoyed making that video. I've been making videos on this channel since before Classic, and now I'm making videos in TBC Anniversary. I definitely want to use this video as a way sort of to get my foot back in the door with making videos. I don't even want to lock myself into one specific class or spec. I still love Shadow Priest. For TBC Classic, or excuse me, for regular Classic, I played a Rogue the whole time, so I definitely plan on making a Rogue alt for PvP specifically. So, you know, don't know what's in the future, but definitely excited to start making some more videos on here. So if you're into that kind of stuff, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, all that fun stuff. But other than that, I'll see you on Azeroth, guys.